Hi, hello there. You might notice things look a little bit different, and that's because I spent all day yesterday setting up this little book nook area. And why, might you ask, did I spend all of my Saturday setting up a book nook area? Because I have been wanting one for the longest time, and I decided, you know what? Bookshelves are actually not as expensive as I hyped them up to be in my head. I bought this one. No, this one from Target yesterday for literally 40 bucks. And I will admit, they're not quite even. This one is from IKEA that I got years and years and years ago, like pre-COVID years ago. And me and this bookshelf have been through a lot. We've been through two moves. We've been through a really bad breakup. We've been through finding love again. We've been through a lot of things. Okay, so she's staying. Okay, she's my emotional support bookshelf at this point. This little one I bought fairly recently, I want to say a few months ago, because I thought I could just fit all of my overflow books onto it. I was wrong. I actually still have overflow books, it's a problem. So please expect an unhaul video in the near future. But the newest edition, she fits in nicely, but I will admit, like I was starting to say before, that the shelves are not quite even. One is from IKEA, one is from Target, so the shelves didn't fully line up together, primarily because the anchor shelf in the middle was at two different heights. So it was very, very hard to get them perfectly even. So I don't have perfectly aesthetic bookshelves, but I mean, nothing in my life is aesthetic, so why would my bookshelves be any different? I figured we could just chat. We could just chat about my little book nook, because I definitely do think that there will be changes in the future. I definitely want to change out the chair. I'm still using my pink chair. I love this pink chair. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for like 50 bucks. Apparently it's a designer chair that retailed for like $2,000 a handful of years ago, and I snagged it for 50 bucks. The world we live in is crazy. So while I love her, I don't think she really fits the kind of like aesthetic, or I should stop saying aesthetic, but the kind of mood that I'm going for in this corner of the room. So for now, she is staying, but she might be retired soon. Just putting that out there. I did film a ton of clips yesterday, and I wanted to kind of walk through them. I can't really play the volume in any of them because we had Spotify playing in the background, so every single clip has copyrighted music, unfortunately. So instead, I'm going to walk you through the process of what we did, where we got everything, my kind of like vision for this space, and then you'll be seeing this background a lot more. I'm probably going to rearrange some of the books, to be honest. There are a lot of my favorite books like down here behind me, but you can't see them because I'm sitting here. So this is definitely still a work in progress, but the foundation has been set. We're good. So now we can just build upon what is already here. I'm also open to suggestions. If you have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments. I really struggled with how to style this corner. I originally wanted the two bookshelves in the corner with a smaller bookshelf over here, and I moved my desk over, but didn't really work out that way. So let's just dive in, and I'll take you along on the process. So first was Target. We picked up the bookshelf. I actually snagged the last one that my store had, so I took it as a sign. It was meant to be. But we stopped at Target, picked up the bookshelf, and then we went to IKEA, because I also wanted to put a two-shelf kind of like bracket on the side of my desk, because now my desk sits next to my living room couch, and so I wanted there to be a little bit of separation, but I didn't really want a room divider, and so I figured two little shelves would be a good way to kind of like break up the space without needing any sort of like room divider, like I just said. And honestly, I really like it. So after IKEA, where we just picked up, honestly, some decorations. We didn't get much. I really just wanted to get the two desk shelves, but I did also grab some fake plants. This is one of them, as you can see. And after that, we pretty much came home and started setting everything up. So I started by taking the shelves off my first bookshelf, and Diego was nice enough to start building shelf for my desk while I moved all of the books off the first shelf, also moved them off the little shelf, and then moved all of the stacks that I had in the corner into one big pile in front of the TV. And once I had finished moving all the books, we pretty much moved on to putting the desk together. And I will say, Diego gets a lot of the credit for putting the shelves together, for putting the big bookshelf together. He really did a lot of the work while I did a lot of the like moving parts in the room. So we put the bookshelf together. I grabbed some clips of me honorarily hammering in some nails. That's kind of the extent of what I did. And then we put the bookshelves up and we had to figure out where to put them. And that was a little tricky, so I don't think I filmed that. But once they were up, then I had the very fun part of putting the books back on the shelves. And I just want to disclaim, I just want to very quickly disclaim, I don't have a system for organizing my books. Like, technically, I do keep series together and I do keep them in order. But other than that, I try to group by genre. But for the most part, I really just group by size, by book size. I really can't stand when like a shelf of books has just a myriad of like all different heights of books. I tried the whole like color thing for a while there, but that wasn't really me. And after a while, it just really lost its appeal, you know? So I guess my organization system, if you will, here there's some dark academia. Here is very like fantasy romance. Down here, I have like a ton of like classics and things like that. Over here, there's a lot of like lit fic and some like mystery thrillers thrown in. So I really tried my best to keep it to genre and book size, as well as keeping series together, like I said, because I can't stand when people separate books in a series. And that was one of the issues I had with the color coordinating system. Like ACOTAR, my ACOTAR books were all over the place, and I didn't like it, you know? Like A Court of Mist and Fury was here, and then A Court of Thorns and Roses was all the way over here. Wasn't a fan of that, so we stopped doing that. But this is just kind of a preliminary organization. I don't fully know where it's going to go yet. I'm definitely going to be moving some of the books. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I really don't like that some of my favorite books are sitting on a shelf right behind me and you literally can't see them. And it's bothering me. So I'm definitely going to have to rearrange a couple of the shelves, move things kind of here or there. I found this little lamp at, where did I find it? At Kohl's. A little bit of a backstory. Diego's mom gave him a gift card she had from Christmas for Kohl's because she didn't want to use it. She didn't think she was going to ever get to go to Kohl's, so she gave it to Diego. And we went to Kohl's one day because we were in the area. And I found this cute little lamp, which happened to be $24.99, and we had a $25 gift card. So really, I just paid $2 in tax. And that is a story of how we got the lamp. But it is a little LED strip lamp, so you can plug it in, and you just tap it to turn it on. It has 3 different colors. You tap it again to turn it off, and it only stays on for about 10 minutes at a time. That's my like least favorite feature of the lamp, but I absolutely love that you don't have to plug it in. But I do want to upgrade it. Just because it only stays on for 10 minutes and it's not that bright, so it's not really ideal for reading. So this is just a placeholder so that you kind of have an idea of what is going to be there and it's not just an empty top of the bookshelf. All in all, though, I think this space turned out a lot nicer than I maybe anticipated it to. I really struggled with the placement of the bookshelves as well as just like the styling of the shelves. I'm not used to styling things. Like I'm not used to like having people over or showing people things that I do. A lot of things I do, I just kind of do myself. I know that sounds very sad and pathetic. I swear I'm not as sad and pathetic as I sound right now. So styling the books, knowing that people that I don't even know, like you watching this video right now, will be seeing my shelves, was a little bit intimidating. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm very happy with how they turned out. I'm very happy with how this corner turned out. I did do a little bit of cleanup this morning, which I didn't film because I was in my pajamas. So I just wanted to kind of get it done. But honestly, I really love how it turned out. I actually really like the desk a little bit more in the room, especially because during like the summer months, this corner gets like no airflow because the window is right here, but the air blows in. So the air conditioning just blows right past this corner of the room. And so I didn't want to push my desk into this corner and A, be sitting right next to the AC, and B, be hot because there was a lack of airflow. I have debated turning my desk to face the window, but with the AC going in the window soon, it didn't really make sense. So I decided to push my desk further into the room, which I actually really enjoy. I also really love that I have that little 2-story shelf to kind of separate the couch space and like living room space from my like desk and workspace. I'm currently in the process of starting a second blog, so I'm doing a lot more writing these days. And so it's very important that my desk feels someplace cozy and inviting that I actually want to spend time. And honestly, it felt like that before. So if anything, I just kept the same vibe going. And as for this corner will definitely be evolving as time goes on. I'm sure I'll find new things and I'll make changes and additions, and I might even remove some things. I don't know what I would be removing, but I promise you will be updated as the journey goes on. But this video is a short one. I'm just happy to share my space with you. And like I said, I'm also very open to your comments and opinions on the space. I'm still kind of figuring things out. Like sometimes I look in the viewfinder and I'm like, that looks good. And then I'll like watch a playback and I'm like, yeah, but like you can't see this and you can't see that. So I'm definitely open to opinions. I also think that this chair will probably go in front of the window to kind of open the nook up a little bit more, so then I can kind of like sit on the floor in front of the bookshelves versus sitting on the chair. And then instead the chair kind of becomes a little bit more of like a cozy prop, so to speak. I don't know, how do we feel about that? It honestly just popped into my head and I actually really like it now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, I don't want to keep yapping for the sake of yapping, so I'm gonna leave it here. I know that this one's a little bit shorter than my like usual videos, but this also kind of isn't like my usual videos. I had a lot of fun putting this little like corner together, and I'm so happy to have just like a little reading nook, especially because I am buying books again. I'm sure you've heard me say it to like nauseum in my videos lately that I was on a book buying ban because I had to read the books that I had, and then I started reading the books that I had, and so I agreed with myself that if I read it and I liked it, then I could buy a copy of it. But I've kind of broken that rule and I've definitely been buying books that I want to read. So we should probably stop that. And go back to sticking to buying books that I've read and liked. But other than that, that's all I've got. Like I said, I had so much fun just setting up this corner and putting all the books and like organizing. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.